Welcome to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the #1 podcast and resource for Black entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful, sustainable businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. If you're currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, you're invited to join us each and every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family and get ready to elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 632. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today's show topic is the #1 mindset shift you need in 2026 to be a successful entrepreneur. The #1 mindset shift you need in 2026 to become a successful entrepreneur. Now, in today's business environment, guys, having a great product or service is not enough. You have to have this specific mindset shift to take you to the next level and break out. Now, before we get to today's show content, let me just share a few things with the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and resource links such as 1234mynewcreditscore.com. If you are having credit issues, if you want to increase your credit score, if you want to buy a house, get approved for a new car, you don't need to pay these law firms and other services an exorbitant amount of money. Go to the numbers 1234 My New Credit Score. That's number 1234 mynewcreditscore.com. And you can help clean up your own credit with this system for only $29 a month. And you can cancel at any time. The number is 1234 mynewcreditscore.com. Now, let's get ready for today's show content. So today, guys, we're going to talk about the #1 mindset shift you need in 2026 to become a successful entrepreneur. We know being an entrepreneur by itself is tough. But if you don't have this mindset shift, guys, then you're really going to struggle and you're never going to reach your maximum capacity, all right, or maximum efficiency. All right, the biggest difference between entrepreneurs who struggle and those who consistently grow, guys, isn't the talent, but it's how they think. It's all about the thought process. And the most important mindset shift in 2026, guys, is you need to think like a marketer. Think like a marketer. And today we're going to talk about the what, the why, and the how. What it is, why you need to think like a marketer, and how you need to implement certain things to take you to the next level and move you from point A to B. So, #1, the what. What does it mean to think like a marketer? Basically, guys, it means that every business decision starts with one question. How do I consistently attract qualified customers? How do I consistently attract qualified, which is the optimal word, qualified customers? Okay, so when back in the day, when you have a big company, you have a quote unquote marketing department. So they're paid to do all of that stuff. Now, you may have a division right now, or your business may be big enough where you do have a marketing department. But if you don't have a marketing department, guess who is the marketing department? You are. All right. So how you want to know or ask yourself, how do I consistently attract qualified customers? So you need to create marketing. All right. Marketing, guys, is the engine that drives your business. It's the lifeblood of your business. I always talk about no leads equals no sales equals no business. How are you getting leads? It's through your marketing. Okay. You got to remember, guys, there's tons and thousands upon thousands of great products out there that don't sell themselves. There are great products out there that are sitting on shelves that haven't moved because they don't have the marketing behind it. And so these are some of the reasons what the marketing is. You have to understand that nothing is going to move unless it's packaged correctly and marketed correctly. And when it comes to packaging and marketing, guys, it's visibility. So visibility actually creates the opportunity. The visibility actually creates the opportunity. So two businesses can sell the exact same product or service. The difference is who's the better marketer. And I'll give you a real life example. So many of you guys who've listened to the show for any period of time know that I have my own mortgage brokerage firm. And one of the things that I do is I was actually recruited to actually teach continuing education in the mortgage space. So they'll fly me into different places. I'll do an 8-hour course for continuing education. And recently, I was just in New Orleans probably about 2 to 3 weeks ago. And while I'm teaching these courses, they're super boring and technical, but I always have to add marketing and some flair to the class because it's an 8-hour class. People get bored. So I always share some marketing stuff. And so what I was telling them, I said, you guys think you're in the mortgage business, but you're really in the marketing business. Everything that I can do, I'm up here teaching the class, everybody else can do. All the products, all the services, we all do the same thing. The difference is, how do I market versus how do you market? And the winner is going to be the person that understands how to market the best. Now, you don't have to have a crazy budget, and we're going to talk about some ways to implement marketing to take your business to the next level. You don't have to have a crazy budget, but you have to be strategic about it. So I kind of gave them a real life example. I said, business owners sell products, but marketers build customer acquisition systems. So mortgage brokers sell mortgages, but marketers build customer acquisition systems, meaning that we create systems that are going to provide us with the leads, that are going to provide us with the actual opportunity to sell. So that's the what. And we're talking about the number one mindset shift you need in 2026 to be a successful entrepreneur. And that mindset shift is basically thinking like a marketer. So you aren't in the mortgage business, I told them, you're in the marketing business. And I don't care what business you're in, you're really in the marketing business, because there are tons of businesses that do the same thing you do, sell the exact same thing you sell. All right, so recognize and understand that. That's the first thing. Now, let's talk about the why. All right, why you need to think like a marketer, okay? This mindset matters more than ever, guys, for 2026 and beyond, okay? Competition, number one, has exploded. So why you need to think like a marketer? The competition out there now is crazy. Everyone has access to AI, right? Everybody can go on to Chat GPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever, Copilot. Everybody has access to AI. So the competition is getting fierce. Everyone can build a website now. If you're still paying for somebody to build a website, you need to catch up to the times. Just go and use Lovable or Base 44 or some of these other vibe coding apps, and you can build websites very simply. Everyone can actually launch a business. How hard is it now to launch a business? You can launch a business literally with just a website, and your product could be a service that you provide. So say you do accounting for a company, right? And you say, you know what? It's a Friday night. By Monday, I'm going to start my new business. You build a website with AI, you offer accounting services, and guess what? You're in business. Really, it's that simple. Now, you don't have to create a product because you're selling a service. You're selling your accounting services. So that's how simple it is. So competition has exploded. And the other big thing is, guys, very few people know how to consistently generate customers. That's the key. The lead generation business, guys, is a multi-billion, with a B, billion-dollar industry. And it will never, ever go away. I had a guy that DM'd me, or he made a comment, I think it was on one of my LinkedIn posts. And he would ask me, what are some businesses I can start? And I basically told him, you got to figure that out on your own, because I don't know what you like. I don't know what you're good at. I don't know what people are going to pay you for. So it's really an individual thing. But here's what I will tell you. The lead generation business will never, ever, ever go away. Okay. And the reason being is a lot of people, or not even a lot, most entrepreneurs don't know how to market effectively or efficiently. Either they don't market at all, they have no system, or they spend more on their marketing than they're making. So they're hustling backwards. So very few people know how to consistently generate customers. And we're talking about the why you need to think like a marketer. Number one, I just went through, competition has exploded. All right. So you have to be able to separate yourself from the others. Number two, predictable lead flow creates predictable income. Predictable lead flow, guys, creates predictable income. What's the biggest, or one of the biggest concerns with new entrepreneurs? The money is up and down. It's 1 month you're doing great. The next month you don't make any money. So you want to create predictable income. So revenue, guys, follows leads. That's what I always talk about. No leads, no sales, no business. All right. No leads, no sales, no business. You want to talk about lead generation systems, something super simple. It doesn't have to be a 6-page ClickFunnels funnel, right? It could be a landing page with 1 page with a lead magnet on it for somebody to raise their hand and say, hey, I want this content or this information that you have. It could be a video. It could be a checklist. It could be a cheat sheet. It could be access to something. It could be as simple as you doing a video, and in order to get that access to that video, put in your name and email address, and now you can watch this tutorial or whatever it is. All right. So you need to have lead generation systems. I always talk about the 3 systems that you need. Any business. And there's a ton of systems you eventually are going to need, but you're going to need a lead generation system, a fulfillment system, something to fulfill those sales, and also a follow-up system or referral system. Those are the 3 systems that you need. Lead generation system, a fulfillment system, and a follow-up system. All right. Lead generation, that helps you create sales. Fulfillment system automates the fulfillment of those sales. So if it's a physical product, right, you don't want to be sitting there yourself picking, packing, and shipping out if you don't have to. Maybe you have a fulfillment center, and also a referral system, something that's going to help generate the more leads from the people you've already worked with. So number 2, predictable lead flow creates predictable income. All right. And what we're talking about is the why you need to have a marketing mindset, why you need to think like a marketer right now. Now, item number 3, differentiation is everything. All right. People don't buy the best, guys. They buy the business they remember. Now, how many people here eat McDonald's or have eaten McDonald's hamburgers? I hadn't had one in 20 years. McDonald's sells the most hamburgers of anybody, but guess what? They're not the best hamburger. We all know that those hamburgers aren't good at all, right? But they continue to sell. People aren't buying the best. They're buying the businesses that they remember. So you want to talk about unique positioning. How are you positioning your product or service, right? You want to talk about your personal branding. All right. If you're using your person to sell the product or service, your niche marketing, and also standing for something. So let's break this down in terms of how to differentiate yourself from everybody else. What is your unique positioning? So, for example, with Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the podcast, 632 episodes over 14 years or 60, I don't even remember now, 14 plus years. All right, 13 years, whatever. My unique positioning. When I came out, there were I don't even remember any Black Entrepreneur podcasts. Actually, I think I was the first based on the number of episodes I have. So my unique positioning was I'm a Black entrepreneur talking to Black entrepreneurs and giving you the blueprint. I position myself uniquely. I am who I'm talking about, right? Let's talk about personal branding. So this is another way to differentiate yourself. Now, I try to put the brand before me, Jay Jones, because I want the brand to be bigger than me. But there are other people that want to be the brand themselves. And that's good and bad for certain things. You do something wrong and you're the brand, guess what? People might cancel you. But if you build a brand outside of yourself, then guess what? That brand can continue, and you can even sell your business easier because it's not predicated on you, the personal brand. Let's talk about niche marketing. I always talk about, now I know not a lot of people say the riches are in the niches, but it's niche, right? So it's pronounced niche. So niche marketing, it's better to go deeper than it is to go wider. The deeper you go, the more penetration you get. So for example, when I was teaching my continuing education class in the mortgage space, I tell them I only deal with 4 different verticals, right? Now I can do everything, but I deal with athletes, entertainers, entrepreneurs, and real estate investors. Those are my 4 niches. So I dig down deep. I have landing pages and marketing specifically for those niches, right? Now, it's tough to really market to athletes and entertainers. You have to kind of go through or have connections. And thankfully, I do have connections for being in the business for so long and having relationships with CPAs, sports agents, business managers, and all that good stuff. Anyway, what I was explaining to them is that those are my 4 verticals: athletes, entertainers, entrepreneurs, and real estate investors. Now, I'm still going to get other business like first-time home buyers. I'm going to get standard refis. I'm going to get the ancillary business just because I'm doing business. And people are going to say, oh, yeah, Jay did a great job for me. You know, even though I'm a real estate investor, I'm sure he can help you out with your refinance, your cash out, or whatever. So when you go and you niche down, you can go deeper. So now when somebody's looking for a mortgage broker that's worked with professional athletes, and I work with tons of them, then they can be like, oh yeah, this dude is good. He knows what he's doing. All right. As opposed to trying to be everything to everybody. You can't do that. Okay. And these are some of the ways you can differentiate yourself: unique positioning, personal branding, niche marketing, and standing for something. Okay. When you say standing for something, on Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, I've had opportunities many times to co-partner with or advertise alcoholic beverages, all types of other things that I thought weren't suitable for my audience. Now, I drink, right? I drink bourbon. I drink beer. I watch my Eagles. I watch football. So I'm not against drinking. But my whole thing is I'm not going to perpetuate, what we have going on in our communities. Every corner in our communities, we got a liquor store. So it's not that I'm against liquor. I'm just not going to promote liquor or certain things on my platform. Not because I think it's bad, but it doesn't jive with what I talk about. I'm talking about economic empowerment, unity, togetherness, positive things. That's why you'll never hear me talk negative about any other black podcast host or there was a lot of stuff going on when we had all these influencers during COVID and you had a bunch of scammers coming out. I'm not going to talk bad about them publicly, right? If I ever meet them or whatever and I talk to them, maybe I would say something then. But the platform, you have to take care of the platform. Understand that, once again, you have to stand for something. What's the name of the shoe company? Tom's Shoes. And I think they started the whole thing. You buy a pair of shoes, they'll give one away to underprivileged kids or something like that. So positioning yourself, differentiating yourself from others. And today what we're talking about, guys, is the number one mindset shift you need in 2026 to become a successful entrepreneur. We talked about the what. That's what we started off with. Then we're talking about the why right now. Number 1, competition is exploded. 2, predictable lead flow creates predictable income. Number 3, differentiation is everything. And number 4, marketing compounds over time. Every podcast I do, every email, every YouTube video, every blog, every social media post becomes another sales person that's basically working for you. So if you go ahead, and I just did this and I was super happy about it. If you go to any of the AI search engines like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and a lot of the others, and you ask them what are the best black entrepreneur podcasts out there, I'm either going to come up. I think I was one in one of them, and I was 2 or 3 in a couple of the others, but I'm in the top 5. And the reason being is, guys, it's number 4. We're talking about marketing compounding over time. So I have so much content out there, and I get good reviews on my Apple, iTunes. So if you like the show, please make sure you go to Apple and leave a good 5-star review. We're doing this, for the community. We're trying to, elevate everybody to take them to the next level when it comes to entrepreneurship and community. So basically what it is compounding over time. Marketing is compounding over time. So it's a long game. Like I said, I actually looked, I'm the longest running black entrepreneur podcast out there ever. All right, forever. 632 episodes every week for 632 weeks straight. Not missed a week. Now, yes, I do some replays if I'm traveling or whatever, but 632 weeks. So once again, marketing compounds over time. So we're talking about the what and the why. Now, the biggest thing I want to talk about is the how. All right, I'm going to give you 5 practical ways, guys, to start thinking like a marketer right now. 5 practical ways to start thinking like a marketer right now. Number 1, this is big, and I touched on it earlier. Build systems instead of chasing customers. It's all about systems. Systems can exponentially grow your business. Chasing customers, you're going to get a onesie and twosie here, but it's not sustainable, guys. So instead of asking, where can I find a customer, ask yourself, how do I build a system that consistently brings me qualified customers? Systemization. How do you build systems? Simple. You don't have to go out and spend a whole lot of money on some of these platforms like Go High Level and everything else. I mean, not knocking it. You can do that if that's what you're ready for. But a simple lead generation system can consist of a landing page and an email autoresponder. All right, a landing page you can create yourself. You can go to Kit, which used to be ConvertKit. They have landing pages. They have email autoresponders. Have a lead magnet on the landing page, email autoresponder, and then you put them into your sales system. It could be an email campaign. It could be sending them to a webinar. It could be for them to click to call you to set up an appointment. That is a lead generation system, okay? So you have to create systems. Lead generation system is number 1. A fulfillment system is number 2. How are you going to fulfill those sales? And a referral system is number 3. So we're talking now the how. 5 practical ways to start thinking like a marketer. Number 1, build systems instead of chasing customers. Number 2, create predictable lead flow. Create a predictable lead flow. The reason why your income is fluctuating because you have no predictability, in your lead system. If you even have a lead generation system. Matter of fact, let me stop real quick. If you're listening to this and you don't have a lead generation system, you don't need to be in business. All right. And I don't mean to be rude, but I'm being straight up with you. You need some type of lead generation system to create predictable lead flow. It could be something as simple as email marketing, YouTube, podcasting, Facebook ads, Google ads, referral campaigns. The goal is, guys, is to wake up every day with opportunities. So if you've listened to the show for any period of time, I always say this. The number 1 metric I look at every morning is not how much money came into my Stripe account or my bank accounts. It's how many new people I put into my databases. I have multiple businesses and multiple databases, and I understand the correlation of a qualified lead going into my database and how it affects the money that I earn. It's related. So my number 1 metric is not the money in my account every morning I look at. I look at how many new people came into my database, and eventually that's going to correlate. The more prospects in the database and larger database you build, the more money you're going to make. Okay, so that's creating, number 2, creating predictable lead flow. Number 3, use micro marketing. And I'm working on something right now, guys, that I think is going to be very big, and it's going to help people in terms of being able to increase or improve their marketing. So use micro marketing. Don't market to everybody, guys. You market to some. You want to find a specific audience, solve one painful problem, and become known for that solution. So I use this example all the time, right? Actually, I'm going to use a new example. I used to use the insole example, but I'm going to use my mortgage business example, right? So I just told you I have 4 verticals that I deal with in the mortgage business: athletes, entertainers, entrepreneurs, and real estate investors. Now, I sell the same products to them all. It could be a purchase, it could be a refi, it could be an investment mortgage, right? DSCR loan. The difference is, guys, with micro marketing is your conversation is specified for that vertical. So if I'm talking to looking to do a purchase, right, and I'm doing a purchase, just say with a first-time home buyer versus a purchase with somebody that's bought 5 houses before, the conversation is going to be totally different. I'm still doing a purchase loan, but I know with the first-time home buyer, I'm going to have to hold their hand and walk them through the process. So my marketing, my landing pages for first-time home buyers are going to be a little bit different than they are for just a purchase landing page. So once again, same product, but different conversation. I'll take it back to the insoles. So I used to sell insoles via e-commerce. So my conversation, and insoles are the things you put in your shoes so your feet won't hurt. So when I was selling to runners, my conversation to runners was totally different than my conversation to a waiter or waitress. All right. So if you're a runner, you want make sure your feet don't hurt. Why? Because you can run faster. You can get a better time. You can win races. That conversation to a waiter or waitress isn't going to fly. But when I talk to a waiter or waitress, I talk about, hey, if your feet aren't hurting, guess what? You can smile longer. You smile, you have a better attitude. Guess what? You get more tips. What are the benefits for the waiter or waitress versus what are the benefits for the runner? So they're totally different things. So in terms of it's micro marketing, that's number 3, using micro marketing. Number 4, differentiate yourself. Why should somebody choose you instead of everyone else? So it could be your story, could be your expertise, customer experience, your speed, guarantee, unique process. Differentiate yourself. The story. So for example, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. My story is this. I've always been a serial entrepreneur since I was a kid. I used to take big bags of potato chips and break them down into little bags when I was 7, 8, 9 years old. And on the block in Philly in the summertime, I'd sell the potato chips and drinks and make money. So I was breaking down big bags into little bags, right? And some people are still doing that, right? But in a different product. And I started making money, right? So my story has always been entrepreneurial. I went to college, worked in corporate America, got tired of corporate, started doing my own thing. And so that's my story. And the reason I started the podcast is because everybody used to ask me, yo, Jay, man, how do I start this business? I need help with that. And I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and put this out there for everybody so they can actually experience or learn from my successes, my mistakes, and my experience over the 25, 30 plus years I've been an entrepreneur. So that's my story. My expertise is, number 1, I know how to build businesses, right? So these are some of the things that differentiate me from others, and I have a unique process. So once again, guys, differentiate yourself. That's number 4, okay? Now let's talk about number 5, building marketing assets. All right. And this is the how. 5 practical ways to start thinking like a marketer, building assets instead of renting them. Own it, guys. So here's what I always talk about. When people build their business on social media platforms, you're at a risk to lose everything. I told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again in case you never heard it. I had a BEB family member who was doing some consulting with me, one-on-one consulting, and basically she built her whole business on Instagram. One of her competitors who was selling pretty much the same thing, got all his followers to complain to Instagram that this person was breaking the terms of service, and they shut down her Instagram account multiple times, and she was making anywhere from $10,000-$12,000 a month, and literally it got shut down overnight. So my suggestion to her after it got shut down the first 2 times was you need to deplatform those people and build your own platform and be able to access them when you want. So build a marketing asset instead of renting it. Your email list is an asset. Nobody can stop you from contacting your email list. A podcast. Nobody can stop me from putting this podcast out unless I don't pay my hosting bill, right? YouTube, you can get shut down on YouTube channel. SMS list, right? That's a text list. You control that. If you have a community, there are a lot of communities out there like School and all these other platforms. You can control that. You got lead generation websites. You can put up lead generation sites. So there's all type of ways to build assets, marketing assets that produce opportunities long after they're created. You know, it's so funny. I can look at my podcast stats and I can see when people listen to an episode. There are people literally yesterday that listened to an episode that I did 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And it's funny because I don't know how they find it, but it's probably through a search. And literally that content is an asset. That content is still out there. My landing pages are out there. Your email list is an asset. So start building assets for your business, guys. And I'm telling you, that's the way to do it. You have to have this marketing mindset. And real quick, before we get to the last segment of the show, let me just share all my social media contact information and resource links. Now, I mentioned at the top of the show, if you have trouble credit, bad credit, whatever you want to call it, and you need or want to make a change, go to the numbers 1234mynewcreditscore.com. The investment is only $29 a month. It is a DIY credit repair platform. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars a month working with other companies when you literally can do it yourself, and they walk you through everything, and it's amazing. So I use them in the mortgage business for people that aren't quite ready to get approved for a mortgage. The number's 1234mynewcreditscore.com. Now, if you want to connect with me, anything Long Family, hit me on my email, jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. That's JAYJONES @blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Instagram, I have 2 IG accounts. The first one is J Jones for Real, JAYJONES, the number 4 REAL. Second one is Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. On X or Twitter, connect with me at jjones001, JAYJONES001. LinkedIn, J Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Connect with me on YouTube. We have additional content on YouTube that is not on the show. So go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Also, for all you first-time listeners or viewers, make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever you watch this or listen to it. We drop a brand new episode every Monday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on all your major podcast platforms and YouTube. So hit that subscribe button so you'll be alerted when new episodes drop. Now, the last segment, real quick, guys, we talked about the number one mindset shift you need in 2026 to be a successful entrepreneur. And basically, guys, you have to think like a marketer. All right, I've used the analogy before, but you're a mad scientist. You got your white lab coat on. You're trying things out. You're determining what works, what doesn't work. And you're putting in your money and resources behind what does work. And the only way you're going to do that, guys, is if you have a mind of a marketer. Remember, unless you have something that nobody else has, you have competition. So the real business that you're in is the marketing business. You could have an appliance repair company. Guess what? There are a ton of appliance repair companies, right? You could have a mortgage company like me. Tons of mortgage companies and loan officers out there. You could be a CPA, an accountant. You could sell digital products, physical products. There are products out there that are just like yours. For example, if you go on Amazon and you look up a product, they're going to be exact same products from Alibaba on there that people are selling. The difference is, how do they market? How do they get traction? So you are in the marketing business. I don't care what you think you're in, guys. You're really in the marketing business. I don't care if it's marble or granite, car wash business, mobile car wash. I don't care what it is. You're in the marketing business. And the only way that you're going to be successful and work at maximum efficiency, guys, is if you understand how to market. So whoever needs to hear this, if you have a network of entrepreneurs or like-minded people that need to hear this, please share the episode with them. This is basically, guys, about helping people move from point A to point B based on my experience of 25 plus years as a serial entrepreneur. Seeing the highs, seeing the lows, almost losing it all twice, being blessed to be able to come back and build two separate multi-million-dollar businesses. So I've seen it all, guys. So I'm just sharing my expertise, and you can also share this information, and I ask that you please do, to anybody that may need to hear it. Now, before we close it on out today, guys, I say this each and every week because it's true. We get more and more downloads because of you, the BEB family, and I appreciate you guys so much. Please continue to spread the word about the podcast, the online courses, the books, the whole ecosystem designed to help you elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Remember, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us. It's about building an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. Love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.